We're really pleased with using it. We've had a good week's trial on it, and just it's comfortable to use. You can see all the way around the machine. It's just a pleasure to use. Boxes are thought about, how they're clipped on, easy to get off. It's just a really well thought out machine. Ben Connell, grounds manager, Ipswich Town Football Club. As a club, we're looking at every area to how can we be better, and it's not just the diesel that we were using before and such things like that. It's also the environment with the noise, and it's important for the neighbours, and it's important for our own staff as well, because it can cause problems, ear defenders. It can increase stress levels when there's a lot of noise going on, and it just helps with fatigue as well. I'm using a machine that's just such a quiet pleasure to use. It's not shaking and such, and the noise obviously is the big one for us. So it's a thumbs up from all the ground staff here. As we're in a residential area, it's really important for us to be able to get out and cut quietly, and also it allows us to do some work on weekends, starting early weekends, Sunday afternoon. Sometimes if we need to get out and cut, we don't want to be restricted because of the neighbours. Having demoed the Eclipse last year, we were really impressed with the silent operation. It's an absolute pleasure to use. Now that we've got the 5 gang coming up here, it really solves the problem of getting the cutting done in time because of the extra width that we've got there, and it fits nicely into the mowing patterns as well, so it's a winner for us. We used it all morning, stuck it on charge at lunchtime, and it was good to go for another afternoon cutting. I think now that the grounds equipment is starting to go over to being battery powered, it's absolutely vital that you can carry on doing your work and you don't have to stop because of run out of batteries. But these problems are being solved now by all the machinery, and it looks like it's going to be real something for the future. It's good to be involved in the initial setups from it, because Ransom Jacobsen are listening to what we're saying, they're making adjustments to the machinery, and it's good to be involved in helping developing something as good as this, because this is the future. Having trialled it for a week, little things that we've picked up that we've fed back to Ransoms is the route on and off the machine. Temptation is to stand on the tyre all the time, adding in extra in consideration of where the feet might go getting on. The control centre's really nice to use. It would be nice to have more flexibility in there to move it out and in so that you can find the perfect comfort area for different operators. And the boxes underneath, again, is taking them. It's always difficult to get the boxes out from underneath a mower, and that's being reviewed as well to have a look to making that the best way possible. We have all had issues with hydraulic oil spilling on a football pitch before, and hope that it's not if it happens, it's when it happens. And we've had our issues before. If you haven't got the hydraulic oil there, it's not going to spill on. What's the worst going to happen? The mower will stop, and it's a great connect it up to the computer, diagnose straight away what's wrong with it, and get it sorted out. Where the parts with hydraulics and the mechanical parts are going to be a lot more wearing in other ways. With this, there's probably going to be fewer things that are going to be wrong with it, and it's more quickly diagnosed. Sort of knowing that you're connecting up to laptops, if that's something that a grounds team can hold as a laptop and it can connect it up, messages can get sent straight through to the factory to then automatic post out parts to get done, and almost instructions of how to repair it yourselves without having to have a single trained person come out to do that. There's so much scope that what can happen in the future. With the mower being tracked now, it can go back to HQ, and we know exactly where the mower's been, how much usage it's got, where it's been, how much work it's done, how many hours, knowing when it's due up for maybe an inspection, because everything's logged from afar, and it takes that element of having to report and record hours all the time and such, because it's automatically there. Yeah, we all keep records of everything we do, whether it's applications of certain pictures and such. And it will help that if it's automatically logging how many hours and usage we've done on the pitch, we can then work out, because we're always doing this for budget reasons, in staff time and such, is how many times do we cut the pitch, how long does it cut the pitch, how many staff do you need? And when that information is automatically being recorded, it takes a lot of the legwork out of us having to write down that we're spending X amount of hours cutting a pitch, and it helps cost the pitch as well. So if you've got an area of 10 pitches as we have, we know that we need an X amount of mowers and X amount of staff to be able to cope with that during the growing season. And if it's being registered and logged straight away, how many hours we need that machine for and how many hours we need the staff for, it goes hand in hand, and it helps with justifications when it comes to budgeting. everything is moving forward really quickly, and it's a case of plans that we've been making about where we're going to go with machinery suddenly turning on its head. Now we're all looking down, going down the battery route, and you know, it's a really big step forward now, and this is the beginnings of a new era, moving away from the old diesel engine onto something that's going to be a lot cleaner and much more efficient and environmentally friendly.